Here we go. Here we go, people.
Oh, nice.
Showtime. Woo! Jeez, only took like 500 years.
That's, man, that is straight up, that's technology, man.
I see it now.
It's
Do
on,
you see that?
Robert?
Yep.
Or
It's
Robert, John?
Are we live?
Yep, we're live.
Okay, people,
Nice.
I am so sorry about these technical difficulties. Facebook, I've had it. I'm gonna come get you, Mark. No.
Seriously.
Hey, welcome everybody to Indigenous Hour. Let's try to get Ernie back. Took a minute, took us about 30 minutes to figure this out. But that had never happened to me before doing this.
Yeah.
So I want to let everybody log in, give some people some time to log in.
Yeah.
I'll share about Red Nation, where we're at with Red Nation. We're in, first of all, thank you everyone for tuning in and having patience and having the humor and the patience to wing this with us. This is like so bizarre, but anyway, thank God we can laugh about it, right? It's where we are in this time with this COVID and this pandemic. But the talent that's here today is just like the cream of the crop of Indian country, and we're gonna have some laughs. But I'm gonna introduce the show while we wait for people to log in. And I'm going to talk about Red Nation. We are in our 25th anniversary. We have been doing this for 25 years. We've been bringing you content, groundbreaking initiatives. I'm pulling up something here so I could read this to you so that it's a better understanding of what we do. And it's been a phenomenal journey. 25 years, a quarter of a century of no matter what, if we have money, don't have money, whatever, we continue to be of service, not only to Indian country, but the entertainment industry. I'm bringing you the best from Indian country, all the talent in front of and behind the camera for 25 years. You know how many shows we've done in 25 years?
No.
Oh my God. So Red Nation Celebration Institute is the first and largest national Native-led enterprise, founded in 1995 in Santa Fe, New Mexico during Indian Market. Red Nation Celebration Institute is the longest standing American Indian and Indigenous media, educational, arts, and cultural, federally recognized 5013C nonprofit organization based in Los Angeles, California. Red Nation Celebration Institute, the authentic voice of American Indian and Indigenous nations, increases visibility of independent filmmakers, media artists, media artists. I just let Ernie in. Media artists, contemporary and traditional performing arts of diverse artistic disciplines of content and content creators, amplifying cinematic excellence and creating change through the arts with an emphasis on initiatives for Native women, girls, and youth in all media platforms and within educational institutions. RNCI focuses on diversity, inclusion, and equality with 25 years of history of cohesive research-informed strategies, advocacy efforts, and groundbreaking initiatives through cinematic excellence media and a strong focus on partnerships. RNCI serves Native and non-Native populations through its Red Nation International Film Festival, casting light on voices, stories, contributions, and assets of contemporary Native peoples in replacing dangerous stereotypes that Native peoples face in media and academia. RNCI's year-round programming highlights Native film labs and master classes at USC. And through our RNCI Media online streaming company, Red Nation Television Network, the nation's first American Indian and World Indigenous television network. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. And we're going to share with you an initiative that we started years ago with Red Nation, with RNCI. We, oh gosh, when was it? It was probably in 2007, maybe 2005, 2006, at Bud Friedman's comedy club on Melrose. My brother and I used to perform there when we were teenagers with our, not comedy, but just singing songs. Bud used to let us go in there. You know, we were minors and we would sing before the comics would come up. So I thought of producing a show of all Native comedians and our talent there. And it was oh, wow, those are thunder beams right there, John. So we had this huge night during our film festival, and we brought in, oh, you guys can help me with the names because I'm old. Let's see, we had JR, right? This was 2007. And who was that group he had? There was a group of guys. There was like 3 or 4 of them. It was with JR and I'm my bad on this.
Comedy Jam. He was
What?
How about Comedy Jam was kind of what he was part of. But I'm not
but I think that came after. Is when they first started. Oh my gosh. Okay, while you guys are sharing, I'll look up all the names because they're very relevant and they're still with us. So like get it together here. Anyway, so we launched it then and everyone was really excited because that had never happened in Hollywood except for Charlie Hill, right? At the Comedy Store on Sunset. There's a group of Native guys like doing comedy, right? Yeah, exactly. Mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do another one. Okay, so then I had this wild, crazy idea to do the Laugh Factory. So I went in and met with the guys over there, Jamie, who I've known forever. And he said, yes, and I'll partner with you whenever you want to do this, whenever, let's just keep moving this agenda forward. So I called JR and JR helped me and we made it like a contest, which I wish I wouldn't have done, but that's where we were at then. And then here came Casey and John and Ernie and who else was with us?
Chad. There was Chad.
Chad and
who are those other ones anyway?
I know, forget it. We're here right now. We're here right now, and that's all that matters, right?
No, it's Sheldon Starr was the other one.
Sheldon Starr, Spotted Bear.
William Spotted Bear.
Yeah, William. Anyway, and then I called in some old friends. Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Paul Rodriguez showed up for me, showed up for us.
Hey,
and
can I share something really funny about that?
We could interrupt each other. I'm not into that. Let's just.
Yeah. So, as soon as you mentioned Paul Rodriguez, I used to watch him on Comic Relief back in the days, you know, and him and, you know, I mean, all the Whoopi and all those guys, you know what I mean? And I remember we were all there because it was a surprise. I didn't know what was going on, right? So me and I think it was John. Was there. Anyways, someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, bro. Oh, no. Here it goes. Do you know who that is? And I'm looked over and there's some non-native guy sitting kind of like on the side of him. So when from my perspective, I couldn't see who it was. I just seen the white guy or some non-native guy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm looking over and like, they're like, who's that? Who is that? And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And I looked over and I kind of leaned over and then I can see who it was. And my face dropped. I was just like, this is my first time to LA. You know, I'm an inspiring comedian. I don't know what's going on. And I seen him and my face freaking, I got chills. My face dropped. I was just like, and then I turned to, I think Sheldon, I turned to somebody. I don't know who exactly it was. I'm like, bro, do you know who that is? And they looked over and they're like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, what? You know, and then I think I went down to John. And I was like, John, look, it's Paul Rodriguez. And John is like, what? You know, and he looked over and he's like, and I was just so like, I thought he was just there to be there. You know what I mean?
No.
I didn't know exactly what was going on. So
no, I invited him.
yeah,
I couldn't tell you guys. One, I didn't want to make you nervous. Two, I didn't know if he was really going to show up because you never know with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And their schedules and stuff. Like last year for the award ceremony, no one believed that Christian Bale was coming and Scott Cooper and Roy, and they showed up, and it was like exactly. Yeah. And everyone's like, so, you know, believe me when I say people, when they're gonna show up, they show up.
Yeah, and like when you said I didn't want to make anybody nervous, as soon as, and this is before we went on, he was in there before we all went on. So when I seen him, it was instant nervous, like holy cow, like.
And he was trying to be like in the back, like, because he knows, you know.
Yeah. Well, too bad, because we seen him and I instantly got nervous. I didn't know what to think. And I'm like, heart's pumping. I'm going to do jokes in front of this guy. Like, wow. And I don't know whoever else, like in front of the LA crowd. Like the whole experience was like, it was unreal. Something that I can't explain, especially a Montana kid coming down to LA, you know, and doing this comedy, you know, with a bunch of other natives, which is awesome. But like just the whole experience of it was, and then before that we seen, I can't remember who we seen. John, do you remember who we seen before that? He was Dane Cook. He was heading out and I was like, oh my God, that's Dane, that's that, oh my God. Just totally like just starstruck to a lot of, you know, the people that were there.
What? Dane Cook was there?
Yeah. He was heading out when we were first getting there.
Oh shoot, man! I didn't know that. I didn't know that till just now today. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, you would have probably took off your thong and threw it at him. your sheep thong.
I have a story too about Paul Rodriguez. You know, I took a picture with him outside the club there.
Well, share it. Do you still have it?
The picture?
Yeah, but email it to me so that we can put it on our archives.
Okay, but the thing is, back when I was 16 years old, right? My mom was working in Washington D.C., and one summer I went out there to go, you know, spend a couple weeks out there, and I was just trucking around the streets of D.C. and I came across a movie, shooting of a movie, and it was called DC Cab, right? And is one of the stars in that, and I met him. I met all those stars there. Mr. T was in it, you know. Gary.
Oh my God.
I met all those guys, Max Hale, all these 70s TV stars, but Paul Rodriguez was there. I met him, so I met him, and then shoot ahead to that night, you know, 20, 30 some years later, our paths crossed again, you know. And I didn't tell him, you know, yeah, I met you in, you know, DC Cab, but it's just my own kind of little private, cool, you know, crossing of.
Oh, he would have loved that. He would have loved that memory.
So I do it in my comedy now, but I talk about that, you know, meeting Paul Rodriguez, and then when I was 16, and then later again in life years later. So, you know, that's the cool thing about life, man. Our paths. You never know who you're gonna run into, who you're gonna meet one decade and see him again 20 years later or whatever. You know, it was an awesome story for me. That night was cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I'd like to say is that let's introduce ourselves. It took 30 minutes to get this technology like pumped up to do our thing, right? So my name is Janelle Romero, and we are here in the territory in Los Angeles of the Tongva Nation, and my traditional name is Oyata Rianka Poin. It means people who see this woman. And It's given to me by Crow Dog. So many years ago. And so I take the floor, Ernie, and introduce yourself, and then we'll just go around.
Okay, my name is Ernest David Sosi III. That's my IHS name, my Indian Health Service. My last name, right, Sosi. It's pronounced in Navajo. It's pronounced Chose, which
Oh.
I don't know what happened here, but I think I'm adopted. I'm in from the Navajo Nation, Windrock, the capital of the Navajo Nation, doing a 57-hour lockdown. So I've been locked up on the res, but I'm happy to be here. So it's glad to be here with yeah, exactly. Here's my my res mask here. It's multifunctional. You eat my stew with it. I bet you didn't know that every store is giving away free masks. Here's my Family Dollar mask.
That's a good one.
100% effective. I got my pandemic survival kit, a survival kit here. So, I got my CARES money, CARES Act. I'm doing good. Anyway, next.
Fully prepared. John, you want to go?
Good, John.
Yeah, my name is John Roberts. I'm from enrolled member of the Red Lake Nation up in Red Lake, Minnesota. I'm about maybe 100 miles or so from the Canadian border. I've been doing comedy for, this is my 11th year. And when I'm not doing that, I'm raising a bunch of kids up here in Red Lake and trying to stay out of trouble.
Good one.
Next, or
Yeah, you're on, Casey.
hi, hey, well, hey, Panita and Anisa, what's not get Casey Nicholson, Asihina, no ani nisin, ninana ani, ninana, Upselaga, Pukani, Cree, Arapaho, Alaska Native. Just I'm a mutt, is what I really am. And yeah, right. And that's who I am. I'm from Fort Bell, Montana. My dad's from Browning, Montana. My mom's from Fort Bell, Montana. My grandma was Martha Nespers. My grandpa was Edwin Nicholson, which is weird because Nicholson is not really a traditional name. It's a white dude name, which is okay, but still, like Ernie said, my name's Casey Nicholson. That is my IHS name. That is my assimilated name. But what I really identify is my native name was Wasnakek, which means white bear. So hello. And I'm just happy to be here today. Thank you for Janelle for bringing us here together today to just kind of almost reminisce about what we're doing and reminisce about, man, the opportunity that we had in LA. And I'm a single, I'm a only child raised by a single parent. And more or less, that's where a lot of my jokes come from. And I'm just happy to be here. I've been doing comedy for, 10 and a half years. And I went full time in 2014, and I haven't looked back. And I am thankful to meet so many beautiful people within my journey. From Ernie, John, all the people that I've encountered. I mean, it just, if anybody has a chance, I just would like to say, anybody has a chance to follow the dreams or follow what they really want to do it, because you only have one life and you have one chance, and just go for it. You can be great, but I think most of all, you're going to be happy. If you're doing what you really want to do in life, it doesn't matter if you're going to be famous or not. The ultimate prize is happiness. And
Exactly.
I can honestly say right now that I'm happy. Even if I'm not famous, I am happy going around the country telling jokes to so many different people in this world and making them laugh at Native Humor, at Res Humor. And so that's really cool. So thank you guys for having me today.
Well, yes. And we're also celebrating this. Why I'm doing this on Fridays is, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Red Nation Celebration Institute, but also to let people know out there that don't know about what we do and who we are, right? Because especially during the pandemic, we've been reaching you know, a lot of people with the programs that the new programs that we have been producing, the content that we've been producing during this pandemic. We've been producing so much content. It's for our television network. It's really been a big blessing actually for us, because it's really made us hone in on our craft. It's made us hone in on and strategically look at creatively how to move forward, right?
Mhm.
And what we're going to do in the next 5 years due to this pandemic.
Mhm.
Because if we're really going to get real about it, you know, we're not going to be out of this for another 5 years, clear, you know.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? I mean, because for me, the kind of personality I am, I don't like the back and forth, back and forth. It's like a bad relationship.
Sure.
So I like to think optimistically, okay, 2020, 25, right? So that's
Mhm.
my goal. So that's what I'm adjusting everything to. But I wanted to share, I was a stand-up comic, and that night that we had Let's Hear You're Funny, I was going to do my 5 minutes, and I got nervous with all of you guys, and I was like, I think I'm just going to be the host. I'm just going to sit out on this one. I got way too nervous. But I have to say, I have so much respect for all of you guys, because I did comedy at the Comedy Store on Monday nights, and Charlie Hill and Sam Kennison and all the guys used to come in and see my show. And I would have my guitar for security, right? I wouldn't play it, but I would just have the guitar for security. And the hecklers, oh my God. I would go in the bathroom before the show and shaking all over, and barely being able to come out to do the show. So I don't know how I got through. I committed for 1 year, once a week, every Monday night for 1 year. And I did it to develop my acting, my craft. And that's why I did it, to do something that I was totally afraid to do, that I am not a comedian, you know, and to work through this. And I'm really happy that I did that, and I kept that commitment. And I had so much fun with Paul Rodriguez and Sam Kennison and all the guys. We used to have, every Monday night was a blast. And then everyone used to come over to the apartment. It was like, we had a lot of fun. So that's why I wanted to bring it to the industry, all of our guys, right? So Casey,
Yeah.
what are you doing over there?
It was a good night, man. And you know, kind of like you, comedy. I started off pursuing an acting career. You know, I studied theater in college. That was my main goal, was become an actor, working actor. But comedy came along, and that became my day job. And comedy really took my acting to the next level. So they kind of complemented each other. And I understand what you're saying about, you know, if I didn't do comedy, comedy has made me a better actor, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Vice versa, you know, because of comedy, because of acting, I was able to get on stage, because I don't suffer from it anymore, but stage fright was one of my big obstacles I had to overcome. And I can still, that night, man, that stage fright tried to rear its ugly head. I got so nervous, you know, and it was right here. And right when I got called on stage, I don't know, man, my body kind of freaked out. And I don't know if I was about to pass out, but I had to work through it, man. And, you know, and I felt that nervous since then, you know. So, you know, comedy really is something that, if you can do it, man, you know, it'll make you better, is what I'm trying to say. So like
Yeah.
saying, you know, your dreams, if you want to be in comedy, or even in performing arts, man, comedy is one way that'll make you sharp, and it'll that's how I got over stage fright, was comedy, you know, doing comedy. So it's really truly an awesome thing if you can find the courage to go through with comedy, like I did, because I was really, I had stage fright on the next level. You know, I was really introverted, like in high school. afraid to talk in front of a small room of people, get almost emotional, just trying to introduce myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I was that introverted and shy, I guess. So comedy kind of cured that whole thing. And a lot of people don't know that about me as performers. I had stage fright, and I still do, but I made friends with it. Now I can handle it. So to comedy and Jonelle, which you did that night was even made my confidence level go even more up. By having that event. And
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I love you guys. I just, you know what? I have 39 years sober, and my whole mission and purpose in life is to be of service to our people with all of our talent, and to bring our talent forward. Even if there's just one person in the audience, that one person gets educated on that we have some talent happening
Yeah.
in our community, and it is hot and it is gorgeous, and all in front of and behind the camera, and the generations coming up. They cannot, Hollywood cannot suppress our voice.
No, man.
And I've made a commitment, no matter what, to always be here with Red Nation Celebration, no matter what, if we have money or not money. Like sometimes the industry will say, when I'm doing our film festival, oh, we won't give her money, we'll give it to someone else. We still do it. We still get it done. We still have everyone volunteering and contributing, and everyone coming together for the bigger picture. And that bigger picture is being here and introducing our talent to the industry and keeping us in the forefront, so that the next generation can see themselves, be proud to be Native. Because I know growing up, my grandparents would not say. My grandpa, he wanted to make money. He ran the biggest nightclub in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he would not say, because he says, I took him to the Gathering of Nations when my daughter was little and she was jingle dress dancing. And he was on the bleachers, and he just, like, the tears came down his face. I said, Grandpa, why are you crying? He goes, you can't tell people that you're Native because you'll never work. You tell them you're Native, you'll never ever work. And I was like, wow, that's like old school mentality, right? The suppression. So RNCI is here, and thank you, Ernie, for saying that, because I love the talent that we have in Indian country. And if anything, I work my butt off to make sure that it happens, and in the face of this industry 24/7.
Yeah, and I think, to piggyback off you too, I think that's what, when I think about, the suppression or whatever that is, and how talented we are in the country, and me traveling, doing speaking engagements, motivational, whatever it may be, just wellness workshops, comedy, and looking at all the talent that we have around in the country, it blows my mind not to see more Natives in Hollywood or on the stage or in music. And it's just like, there's only a certain amount of time, like you were saying, Janelle, was like, there's only a certain amount of time you can suppress this before the dam breaks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when that dam breaks, it's gonna be an overflood of just it's just so remarkable talent that's coming out, like from, like you're saying, acting to producing to writing to stage play, like everything. You know what I mean? And when I look at it, I get so inspired. You know what I mean? I get so inspired when I see Ernie, when I see James and Ernie doing their thing way back in the day, and I'm just like, whoa, when I seen freaking Charlie Hill, and I'm thinking of Williams and Reed, seeing those guys, Williams and Reed, and seeing and listening to their tape, and we're sitting as a family, sitting there listening to, not laughing really at, not laughing at the white guy as he would term or coin himself, but laughing at the Indian, because we can relate to it, and it was so hilarious. But there's just so many things in the country that so many people don't realize how talented, funny, musical, everything that we are, and it's like, okay, the time is coming. Like there's something bubbling, you know what I mean? There's
There
something
is.
there that's marinating, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
when they get that taste of it, they're gonna be like, oh my God, we have something. We got something. And I think of, okay, here's an example really quick. So we're in Montana. I'm in Montana, and I did a Montana Comedy Festival in 2018. And I'm the only native in this comedy competition. And I'm nervous. The year before I lost, and I was really bummed about it. So the 2018, I got up there, did my thing, you know, and the year before I was John first. And you don't ever want to go first as a comedian. You know, you don't ever want to go first. And so the second year came, or 2018 came, and I was doing a little interview. Then I kind of like drew the number, and I was sitting there. Then I finished my interview, and then I looked at my number, and it said 1 again. But my mindset was totally different. I was like, all right, cool, I got this. You know, I'm gonna raise the bar high, and we'll see what happens. So I got on stage, I did my thing, got off stage, and I kid you not, this is during Montana. This is during basketball season in Montana, high school basketball season. So there was 2 natives, a couple that was there, and that was all I had. And I'm looking for support from the native votes, right?
Oh my God.
And so you got crowd participation or crowd votes, and then you have the judges that are, I think, 60 or 70% of the votes. And I'm just like, my God, you know, like whatever. So I went up there, I did my thing, got off stage, you know, and then I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. All the comedians went on. There's 2 guys. I was like, okay, those are the 2 guys I need to worry about. And third place was that one guy. Then they did the runner up, you know, they did the runner up. It was that second guy I was worried about. So now I'm like, oh man, I lost. Like I couldn't rise up again, man. That sucks. You know, I'm already defeating myself in my brain. Like, oh, you know, just really bummed out. Your champion, your Montana's funniest comedian for 2018 is, and that pause seemed forever. And and then I seriously heard Nico, and I'm just like, what? You know, like I just totally, like, I was so excited because not only for me, I was excited for me, but I was more excited for native res comedy, jokes, native comedy. I was more excited about that the majority of this crowd was white, and they got it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa! And I was so excited because they got res jokes, they got native jokes. I delivered it in a way that they can understand it, and I was just like, you know. So I was more excited for Indian country more than for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my story. I don't know, but it's just an exciting. It gives a perspective of what we can do if we're given an opportunity to shine, even in mainstream, even in front of a white, Mexican, Black, you know, crowd.
Right. Well, it's the thing of being nurtured, right, as artists. And I feel that RNCI, what we do here is that's what we do. We nurture our artists, like, you know, and that's really important. Because if you're not nurtured and you're not taken care of, right? And I'm not talking about so much financially, just like with your craft and given the venue and the opportunity and the exposure, that's what it's all about. That's really the key to it, and to a diverse audience. You know, it's great to go in front of our own and work out our stuff and see what works, what doesn't work. But when you go out there, like to the Laugh Factory or to the situation, Casey, that you're into, like a non-native audience, and it works, that's everything. That's everything.
And I think I know John, I mean, he's performed in, you know, obviously LA, he's performed in Minneapolis. And so he has piggyback stories, and obviously Ernie as well. But even when I won that competition, I actually went back down to LA, and I got to perform at the Ice House, Comedy Store, I think it was the Belly Room. I think that they called it.
Yeah.
And what is that one? Oh, I totally spaced it out.
Comedy
But
Store.
another big time LA
Hey,
comedy.
we're all getting old. Our memories are
Seriously, wow. Anyways, got to go down and perform again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
going to the Belly Room was a whole different experience again.
And you didn't call.
I know. I'm sorry. It was like so busy. Do. Like we were so scheduled to do like
Oh,
everything.
Jesus. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but yeah.
Next
And
time.
went down there and did it. And again, the Belly Room. Like seriously, the people down there. Like when one comic went up, they were either laughing or not laughing. But as soon as that comic went off stage, they just went stone cold. They just went stone cold faces. They're just like, ha ha ha. Next comedian is this, and it's just like,
Yeah.
like they.
It's treacherous.
It's hard.
It's
Yeah,
treacherous. Yeah.
it is. And I went up there, and it took me I had 4 minutes. Yeah, 4 minutes. And it took me about half the time to actually warm them up. And then the last 2 minutes, I had them laughing. But still, I mean, and then I got to meet Fluffy. I got to meet Joe Rogan. I mean, got to meet, like so many different comedians that were passing through those little areas. It's really, really cool. If anybody gets a chance just to even just, I know John, the documentary that John, I want to hear what John has to say in terms of that documentary, I'm excited to hear what's going on with that and where it's going and how they experience because I think, in my opinion, this is my opinion, a lot of that thirst or a lot of that hunger, for me anyways, started because of that opportunity when we went down to the Laugh Factory because of your event.
Oh.
And and it really wow, this is something I've never tasted before. This is something I'm craving, you know what I mean? And I think that's where it kind of like really started kind of coming, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is nice. I like this, so yeah.
It's the nurturing and the opportunity. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
John, what's up?
Well, I was gonna say that the thing about when we went down to your event, we all got in at different times, and I got to stay with my cousin down there. And then I got a call from, I think might have been JR. He picked me up, and it was with Casey and Chad Charlie, Will Spotted Bear, and Charlie Mullick. JR told us that Sunday nights the Belly Room is an open mic, so we all went down there and we put our name in a hat. You would be able to go on.
Was this after the event? Was this after?
Before.
It was before. Okay.
The day before, yeah.
Okay.
And that Sunday night, and so we all put our names in the hat. We're not expecting, because there's a lot of people there, and a lot of people were in that drawing. And the first name that was drawn just happened to be me. And I had no idea if I was going to make it on. Nothing prepared. I just went up there and talked for like 5 minutes, and it turned out that it was pretty good of not my material, but like just being so nervous, trying to talk my way through something that was a little more appealing than my original stuff. And the thing about after that, we all walking up and down Sunset Strip about 2 or 3 in the morning, and we walked into the Barney's Beanery.
Yeah.
And that bouncer security guy, he stopped us at the door. Me, Casey, and all the other guys, the big natives, and said, "You guys aren't going to start any trouble here." Oh, maybe not, but yeah, we all ordered food, just sat there and talked for like, I don't know, hour, 2 hours, and I feel like that movie Swingers or Reservoir Dogs, where we're walking up and down the street there, and that was probably a good way to start that week. And then after the show at the Laugh Factory, everybody went to Rob Van Dam's house, and I decided not to go because when I experience some nightlife, I have a little too much fun, and I didn't want to scare everybody off, so I just went back to my cousin's house. Everybody got to party at Rob Van Dam's house but me. So, but yeah, that was a lot of fun and roaming the streets of Hollywood, and something I'll never forget. And it was just your event, gave us the opportunity to make it down there. So I can honestly say that I performed at the Comedy Store one night and then the Laugh Factory the next night. And I rub that in everybody's face every chance I get. So
Yeah.
thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to do more. I seriously have some. Ernie and I were talking before, we went live today, and afterwards, I'd like to have a conversation with all of you because I think that we should move forward with something, and I think there's a good plan that we can do, that we have, to present. I have to present to you guys, and because we could do it. No matter what, we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to say RNCI, this is, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary. And I'm going to try something technically, guys. So, oh my God, let me see. Okay, I'm going to try it and see if it'll work. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I clicked on the thing and it did not. Oh, you know why? Because you have to share the screen first. Okay, guys, hold on. I'm just going to try this because it's what I need to do. Okay, I'm going to share the screen and go here. And go like this. Is it there? Okay. Okay, so I hear some kids. I did it. All right, so this is Red Nation Celebration Institute's 25th anniversary. We'll be celebrating for a whole year of all the legacy. This is called the Legacy Project of everything that we've done in the last 25 years in bringing Native content, Native performers and filmmakers and all of that, teaching youth, Native youth, on and off the reservations, in front of and behind the camera. And we have t-shirts. Yay, this is a limited edition, because for our festival that opens in 5 weeks, we're gonna have a different t-shirt. So this is a collector's item at this point. So if you contribute today, $100 or more, you get a free t-shirt and a goodie bag. But any contribution would be appreciated, because this is the time of the pandemic and a lot of our arts organizations are hurting right now. And we want to make sure that we continue on in bringing you excellent programming from RNCI. So this is an important initiative, and we would really appreciate whatever you can do. Would be great. Okay, so I did it, guys. Technically, we did it, and so now I am going to stop the sharing, and we go back to everyone. Yes. I'm now becoming a technician. Who knew at 63 I'd be doing this? This is not the hat I wanted to wear, people.
And I tell you what, man, the whole technology part of today's world is nuts. Like my kids right now are doing a remote learning. They're not going physically to school. And to see my 5-year-old, well, he just turned 5. But to see my 5-year-old navigate through the iPad and through the technology stuff that he has to do to stay current on the education stuff blows my mind at 5 years old. And he's like, Dad, you have to do this. I'm like, okay, I'm officially old. I don't know what I'm doing on this, And he just pushes a couple buttons, and I'm pushing 100 buttons, And and he just pushes 2 buttons. He's like, Dad, and he watches me. That's the thing, is he watches me mess up, you know, like and he's just looking at me like, and then I'm just like, well, what? And he's like, all you had to do, Dad, was dunk, dunk. I'm like, oh my God. You couldn't tell me like that at the beginning. He's like, you know, whatevs, you know, but at 5 years old, he knows exactly. But technology, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. As you know, being late for 30 minutes for today's show. So, all right. So now I want to go into, what are we doing now? What is your life like now during this pandemic? And how collectively are we all going to move the narrative forward, and support each other, and, you know, make it a united front within the industry? Because I know that for 25 years of doing this, I have not done this alone, apparently, obviously. And so I feel the more of us that come together and nurture each other and support each other, it'll just happen faster. In other words, right? It'll just happen faster. So John.
Right now, I actually started working the day of everything got shut down. So I started a real job. I've been doing that since March 16th. So I was fortunate to get a job when everybody else was getting laid off, and it was really I think it's very lucky. I was trying to get on the road for about that year before that, and it wasn't really working out, and I just kept going, and nothing was really working out, and I just so happened to come across, you know, a position that opened up for me. And also I've been doing podcasting a lot. I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years now, and I'm just finally starting to get a little bit of a following. But I've been off for about the last month because I was suffering from bronchitis, and I wasn't able to, you know, I was having respiratory issues, couldn't talk. I'm just finally getting my voice back a little bit from all the coughing I was doing for about 3 or 4 weeks. And but still trying to get the documentary out that we started 5 years ago. And you know, that the movie business, as you know, is works at a snail pace sometimes, because a lot of the things, they don't come together like, you know, you imagine in the beginning. And it's really frustrating. It's just trying to stay in contact with the people who have all the footage and the equipment. And it's like everybody else, man, everybody's struggling. You know, like the company we originally went through didn't do what they're supposed to do, so we moved on to the next one. Then again, I think we're on about the 4th company now, and now that company suffered from the pandemic, and you know, a lot of companies like that don't have money coming in, so our footage is out there. I think I posted the first 11 minutes of it, and you know, that's all I was given to me. The footage is, you know, the files are pretty big, so it's hard to upload it to YouTube and Facebook, and because it was a 4K camera, and it was just really hard to, you know, get all the footage in one. I think what is that called? One of these things here. One of these.
A hard drive.
Hard drives, yeah.
Yeah, but you could compress it. You could compress it though.
Yeah, that's where we're getting. You know, they have all that stuff. I don't. You know, because I could get all the footage, and it would take me forever to chop it up. Because I've done editing before, but the files are just too big for my MacBook and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's. I've been saying this since, you know, 3-4 years now. You know, it's almost done, and it's getting so frustrating to tell the investors that, you know, we're getting there. We're getting, you know, we started the fundraising June of 2015. We hit the road September 24th, 2015. We're on the road for about 2 weeks, and then I handed all the stuff over, and that's the last I've seen of my stuff. So I'm trying to legally, you know, go through all the legal things, and I'm just trying to get my footage back and trying to get it out. And I really don't like the movie business right now.
What's the documentary about?
It's a documentary about Native comedians. We met with Casey, and we went to different reservations to hear their story, why they got into comedy, and what comedy means to the communities of the reservations.
Yeah.
And I think it's really something that needs to be a story that needs to be heard.
Absolutely.
Shows how we've survived, 500 years, using our humor to get us through the tough times, and a lot of different stories. Tanya Joe Hall and Casey. We had Sheldon Starr and Von Eaglebear. And, yeah, it was just really inspiring to hear. When I first started comedy, I didn't know anybody at all. Once I started posting videos, Facebook, and I started meeting all these people online, and it was fine. I was finally able to get out to meet everybody, and that was the best part of it. Just creating friendships with native comedians that I had no idea were out there, because like you said, we're not really representative in any media right now. Well, right now we are, because of social media and
Yeah.
Facebook and YouTube, and we got a lot of YouTube stars that just need to make the leap to the mainstream, and it just hearing their stories is what everybody needs to hear, their stories, and that's what we're trying to get out.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. If you need any help, maybe I can give you some ideas or whatever to move it forward. But, so Ernest, what are you doing over there on the res?
Man, I'm just taking this time of lockdown, of social distancing, and just kind of trying to improve my mind. Like, for example, just I've been doing a lot of reading, whether it's books on acting or comedy,
Nice.
or even just poetry. Just start trying to keep my creative side fresh and watered, I guess you could say. I don't want to get stale, I guess, you know what I mean? So that's been a challenge, because I live on the res, man, and we don't have like a mall down the street, or we don't have any. I got to go to Albuquerque or Phoenix for a big city, to get any kind of creative, inspiration. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and Netflix, and listening to a lot of comedy, serious radio, channels, so I'm keeping up with comedians and that way. And so, I just been appreciating the downtime, I guess, and trying to keep trying to not really stay relevant, I guess, per se, but I just want to keep my my instrument, myself, going, I guess, and sometimes I get kind of I feel sometimes I actually feel like, I think my career is over, man. This pandemic has been like in my mind sometimes a career ending. I'm like, man, I gotta find a new career, right? Well, I started thinking about possibilities, man. There's the PBR, right? There's UFC. I thought about pro golfer. I was thinking about starting my UFC career, because even the losers get paid, man. That I still get a check, PBR, nah, man. If I get stomped on, I don't get paid, But that's how my mind's been working. Like, dang, man, what is it over? Is this, how long? Like you're saying, 5 years, we're gonna be in this thing. That's, to me, I gotta find a new career. So, that's kind of how I've been having that battlefield of my mind, of is this it? Should I get a job, or a day job, or a different one, And I actually I used to do archaeology, right? Before
Wow.
before I did comedy and all that, I was an archaeologist. And I thought about going back to that, I started looking for jobs, archaeology, right? You now need a bachelor degree minimum, right? to get a job at the lowest level of archaeology, digging ditches and stuff. So I say, okay, I'm too old for that now. So I couldn't even get a job if I wanted one. So I got to keep comedy and keep acting going, man, somehow, some way. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. It gives me a chance to unload, man, all my worries and concerns, and to see other people out there like Casey and John that, man, this is a real thing. You got to survive. My wife had to get a job. We've been self-employed, my wife and I, for the last 20 years, and she's been out of the workforce, and she was forced to go get a job, and that leaves me at home being like I was telling you, Jonella, at home school parent. Kid. I have 2 boys.
I tried that once.
I have a
I'm
fresh.
not a teacher.
Unfortunately, I am their teacher at home. It's hard, man. All you teachers out there, man, you guys are
Yes. Yeah.
need a raise, a double raise. You need to get
Triple raise.
Yes.
like, man, my first week I was like, res parenting teaching, come on, it's easy, 2 + 2, it's in there, what's wrong?
Yeah.
So I learned patience, man, and so the pros, I guess, of this whole thing is I put my career, on the back burner. I haven't really been doing too much. I did some virtual play reads, and some comedy virtually, but mainly my main focus right now is my family, my boys. I've been spending bonding with them, man. It's been awesome, I've been getting real close to. I have a son in Courage. He's 9 years old, and I have a high school son, Piper. He's 14. So I've been really getting close to them. So I'm really appreciative of that because, before this, man, I was always on the road. I was always going to a show or traveling somewhere. I didn't really see my kids very often, so I was kind of missing out on their young school years. So the pandemic said, hey, family is important. So that's where I'm at, man. So I'm on a 57-hour lockdown in Navajo Nation. Every weekend they lock you down. That's I was work release in jail, so that's easy for me.
Well, the pandemic is really, there's so many blessings to it.
Yeah.
There really is, because it's brought the families together and really having this human condition of really looking at what really matters, and I feel that we're all in a deconstructing so that we can regenerate, right? And that's very exciting to me. Brings a lot of hope. I get really excited about that, because we as creatives, because we're all creatives, all 4 of us here, and everyone out there, that we're creatives, and we get to create moving forward. However that is, we get to do that. That's exciting to me. That's really exciting. It's overwhelming sometimes, but it's really exciting. It's really exciting. So I feel like a kid, because it's like dreaming, like I get to dream again about like, what is this going to look like?
Yeah.
What is this going to look like? How are we going to bring this forward? And so I'd like to put something, we're going to wrap this up in about another 7 minutes, but I want to put this on the table. First of all, everybody that's out there that's listening is welcome to RNCI's table. You are welcome at this table. This door is open for you. And I'd like to also suggest to us here, our Let's Hear Your Funny crew, our team here, that we start meeting once a week.
Yeah.
On Zoom. We start meeting once a week, and we bring this Let's Hear Your Funny forward. Let's do it. Because by the time we have something real and tangible, we'll be out of this, and we'll be safer to film in person.
Yeah.
And we could do it. We could figure it out. We could all pitch in $5 here, $5 there, and just do this. We could do this. Let's just do it. Let's make a commitment to each other and do this. Because Let's Hear Your Funny is funny. and I have some great, and we'll just do a round table.
Yeah.
Creative round table.
And I do have to say, this whole pandemic has given me a sense of liberation in some ways, a chance to just kind of start over, in ways, that's where I'm at. So I am even though it's a bummer, everything that we're going through as far as financial stuff and whatnot, I do have a sense of just start, a clean slate and just try new things, man, and keep going. Whether it's traveling, whether it's cooking something new, even those
Yeah.
small things like that, are exciting to me. Like you said, I've been watching a lot of hunting channels, hunting. I just watch it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so like for me, I've been doing a lot of nipple tassel swinging class. That's what's getting me through.
I'd like to see that, Casey.
But yeah, like Ernie, and like it's like Janelle, that's what you're like. It's really it brings down the foundation of who you really are at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You're a family. For me,
Yeah.
family man. I'm native. Storytelling, being with my family, just being like with. But at the same time, we have the reality of trying to support our family as well.
Right.
So I'm thankful for Native Wellness Institute.
Right.
I'm thankful for the different comedy people that are out there. I have a comedy show tomorrow, which is really cool. I've been
Where can
doing
we see it?
virtual.
Where can we see you? Where is it online?
Yeah, it's not going to be online. It's actually
Oh.
live, like
Oh, okay.
social distancing. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, but that's the same thing. Is like
Yeah.
there's little like even like $50 here, $20 here,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean. Anything helps, and that's exactly what I've been doing. Is like even with virtual comedy shows, which is really weird because you don't get the automatic feedback. But
Yeah.
still, you're working on new jokes, and just telling them, saying stuff really helps out as well. Doing the motivational talks, different little online conferences, different things like that as well, is really. But at the end of the day, I think what really comes down to it is this whole pandemic. Again, same thing, is really makes you feel, makes you appreciate the things that you had before. Like when you're in the freaking airport and you're complaining that your flight was delayed, you know what I
Right.
mean? And that you're in the freaking aisle seat or window seat or whatever, or in the back of the plane. It makes you appreciate, like, you're actually still, like, those things, even those little things, you know what I mean? Makes you appreciate those opportunities. And I'm thankful for it. And it makes me, for me, appreciate the things that I had before,
Yeah.
but yet it still makes me appreciate the things I have now. And my family, my house, I have food on my table. I have, like the necessities of life that makes me keep going in life. And at the end of the day, when I'm trying to excuse the language, bitch and complain about the necessities of life, realizing the necessities of life are really just simple. The smiles on your face right now, you know what I mean? The laughter that I hear from you, hearing your voice right now, seeing your eyes light up, seeing your beautiful faces.
Yeah.
That's the necessities of life.
Yeah.
Not just making money, not just going out and making people
Yeah.
laugh, but just the simplicity of life is in my opinion, the necessity. That's what I need, to keep me going from day to day, to try to make myself better than I was yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Casey. It's so when the pandemic hit, I went into isolation on March 7th. And for 6 weeks, I went into a prayer and meditation mode, like deeply. Right. And was watching all the noise out there. Right. And just watching everybody scrambling and trying to figure it out. I just stayed really quiet, went within, fasting, a lot of fasting.
Wow.
And then came out of that and started creating content.
Good.
And new content. And the thing that I realized for me that's really important during this pandemic and what I've learned is that I really want to plant a garden, a physical garden, like in the ground, because the one thing that I've noticed is that I love the creepy crawlers. We need the creepy crawlers. We need the little worms and little spiders and the little creepy crawlers. Those animals, protect us and nurture us. in a very, very big way. And
Yeah.
so it's getting back. And so what I really realized, well, I'm, of course, being a woman, I've known this forever, but what I've really been putting out there, the message I've been putting out there is that this is a woman's world. It always has been, because we're life givers. And what I mean by that is that it's Mother Earth. She gives us everything, everything. So with that message, it is a woman's world, and it always has been a woman's world. And so with that, I invite all of you guys to come to the table and let's do this. Let's hear your funny.
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm
Let's
down.
do it.
I'm in.
I'm excited. I can't wait, because I know we could come up with some crazy, exciting stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Ernie can. I know John can. I come up with some nasty stuff. Is that okay?
Well, so I'm excited about that. And again, again, I just want to say I love all of you, and I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate your talent. And don't ever give up. I always say I'm going to be 80 years old with, hopefully not with a cane, but it looks like I'm walking with a cane. 80 years old, walking up and you know, getting my statuette. Even though I created one for us, I want the other one too.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Right?
You'll get it. You'll get it.
We can all go up together. The vision is that when we do that, we all roll up. All of us, everyone that's ever been a part of Red Nation,
Mhm.
you know, that's the vision.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And as long as the UFC has an elders division, I think I got a chance.
Well, we've got this, and we're going to do it, and we are doing it. And I want to thank all of you that have tuned in. I have no idea on Facebook because I'm not watching it. But we'll just let this go for live on Facebook. And if you can contribute today and give a little bit today to the 25th anniversary, the Legacy Project of the Red Nation, we'd appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. What happened to Ernie?
Yeah.
There
Oh,
you
there-
are. All right. So we're going to sign off.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
John,
We'll
take
see you
care.
guys later.
Love you all.
See you guys.
Guys, take care. Stay in touch. Let me know about the circle meeting
We're doing
thing.
it. We're doing it. I'll
Yeah.
email you over the weekend.
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody.
All right.
Everybody.
Love you guys. We'll see you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Mwah. Stay healthy. Stay well.